Hey guys, this is just a quick video on how to use this horizontal sawmill. So first of all, we need to turn our machine on at the controller. So we've got the isolator, flick it on, machine will power up. Our power indicator light will tell us that we've got power to the machine. And we'll just give that a second to power up. So first of all, once it's powered up, you select English. The screen here displays a height that we've got here, and we can do a couple of functions like jogging up and down of the height. That can also be done by the inching motor over here. So we can turn that on. Go up and down from there. And that will allow the height to go up and down. We've got our forwards and our backwards of our saw. So if we go forwards, it will move the saw forward. We can also variable the speed by this frequency control here. So as it's running, we can change that. So if we want to speed it up or slow it down, as we're doing our cut, we can adjust that. Then we've got backwards. Backwards is a fixed speed, so it'll just go back at the same speed. Just be careful not to overshoot it off the end of the track. There are limit switches on the ends here, but just be careful when you are driving this. It's really important to pay attention. To loosen the blade or tighten the blade, it's done by this one here. So if we want to loosen our blade, hold this down and that will loosen our blade off there. You can see it's starting to sag. Tightening it up, we can tighten it up. Now, setting the tension on this, there is a tension bar around the back here. That's this guy here. We want to set it so when this just comes up a little bit from on there, on the pad, then we know we've got the correct tension for the machine. So just go back to that. Tighten up the blade. You can see on the top there, the lever going up. So we want to set it so it's just above, just taking a bit of weight there, as you can see here. And then we know we've got our tension correct. There is an emergency stop here. So if there is an accident, you can push that and that'll stop the machine. It'll turn the controller off. So back to our main controls here. We've also got an e-stop up the top here. And turning our motor on. So here. Once we've heard it kicking from star to delta and you hear the motor running at full speed, you can start bringing it to cut. Obviously, it's pretty straightforward. Motor stop. So on the controller, you can set it so if you're doing like repetitive cuts, you can set it so it moves a set amount that you program each time. You've also got an auto up and an auto down. You can stop that too. We go to next. It just tells us our blade curve and a few other things like that. And we've got inputs and outputs. But really just up and down from here is probably the easiest way, depending on what you're doing. Now, when you do change your blade on these, obviously it's very important that you have the blade tracking correctly. So this hand wheel can be manually done or controlled by the controller over there. And there's like a slip clutch here. So if we pull this out, it disengages this gear here. Now, when this is engaged, what it'll do is it will allow for both sides of the pulley. So it's just a bit tight. I'll do that after. Both sides of the pulley, so from here and on the other side, this part here, the whole motor will evenly move back. So it'll move back on both sides at the same speed to tension the belt. Now, by disengaging that gear on there, what that allows it to do is it allows it to move the back one out or in and leave the front one fixed. So we have this, we can turn that and we can see that gear is not turning, and that will adjust the toe in and the toe out of the main roller. So when you put your new blade on, it's important you set this up correctly. You turn it on, you jog the blade on, off just real quickly, and have a look that the blade is tracking nice and straight. If it's not tracking correctly, then it will either drive back towards the back of the machine or forward, and you can damage the teeth on the frame here. So it is quite important that you do set this correct, and it does take a bit of mucking around when you put your new blade on to set this up. So you might be a bit of trial and error. There are some instructions that also explain it here. But when you're finished, just remember to lock that back across. If I can undo it by hand, probably not. I've done this tight. I'll have to get a spanner and loosen that, but loosen that off and then you can push that over and then you can adjust it. To access your blade, you've got these 3 panels, 1, 2, 3. There's a screw on each one of them, just there and there. And you loosen them off and then you can open up your panels to get to it. When you're setting your guides here, set them down so they're nice and close to the blade, and then that way you'll get minimum flex in your blade like this when you are cutting. So it is important that you have your tension correct, your guide set, and also your tracking in and out correct. And that's kind of it really. Just be very aware when you're using this machine. It is quite a dangerous machine. So just be careful and take it nice and easy. And that's kind of it really. When you're finished using it, just flick it straight off at the isolator, and that's it. Thank you.